show you how on CVM Cook Shop.
From your favorite Christmas recipes to all the holiday entertainment, stay locked in to CVM Television.
So from our CVM family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Jamaica, make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out. Don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
The issue of declining fertility rates is a problem for developing countries like Jamaica and even beyond Jamaica. Developed countries are having the same serious problem. In fact, countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, say over the last 60 years, fertility rates in those countries have fallen by about 60%. People not having babies anymore. So what are the implications of that? What are the implications for a country like Jamaica, which is developing and finding sustainable growth rather difficult to achieve? What are those prospects if indeed we're not replenishing the workforce to continue over time? Those are the issues we'll discuss today right here on CVM TV on this issue, this edition rather. This issue we'll tackle on Lead Story. Let's start the show. So, where are the children going, or where have the children gone? That's the question as we tackle this issue of low fertility rates, declining birth rates all over the world. It's a significant problem. When you talk about low fertility rates, the country that comes to mind quickest is Japan. They have a significant problem with an aging population, and economists are never shy to talk about the implications for the Japanese society. Elsewhere in Asia, especially wealthy Asia, it is a significant problem as governments try to craft policies to account for a future where the population carrying the country is older, more significant costs where healthcare is concerned, and it is not a good prospect to have a situation where the workforce can't be in their productive cycle on a continuous basis to drive the engine of growth. Today we're going to have that discussion, and we've picked three people who are experienced in specific areas and, broadly speaking, who can enlighten the discussion for your understanding. Before that, though, let's set the context for this program by playing this package for you.
In the 1970s, the Jamaican government embarked on a two is better than too many campaign with the aim of controlling the overpopulation of Jamaica. Fast forward to 2024, Jamaica's Minister of Health is pleading with Jamaicans who have the financial means to have children. Why? Well, there has been a drastic fall in Jamaica's fertility rate, which is the number of live births per 1,000 women within the childbearing age range, often 15 to 44 years old. Jamaica's total fertility rate, TFR, has declined significantly from 4.5 births per female between 1973 and 1975 to 1.9 births in 2021. In 2021, there were 31,276 live births compared to 40,508 in 2010 and 56,134 in 2000. Jamaica's crude birth rate, which is the number of annual live births per 1,000 population, declined by 10.2 percentage points from 21.7 per 1,000 population in 2000 to 11.4 per 1,000 population in 2022. 2022. A healthy fertility rate is around 2.1. But why would governments be concerned about how many children you are having? Well, falling birth rates have wide-ranging social, economic, and demographic effects on countries. As birth rates decline, the population ages, leading to a higher proportion of elderly citizens and a shrinking workforce. This can strain social support systems, increase healthcare costs, and reduce economic productivity. Fewer children also mean smaller future generations, which could result in labor shortages and decreased innovation. Countries with low birth rates may struggle to maintain their tax base and sustain growth, leading to potential challenges in funding public services and infrastructure. Cultural dynamics are also altered when populations age, as the younger generation may become more diverse, reshaping societal norms and values. Long-term, these trends can reshape global power structures, influencing migration patterns and shifting economic influence across regions. Globally, on average in 1950, women had 5 children, and in 2012 it stood at 2.2. Countries like Singapore are in the red, with their birth rate falling below 1 to every 1,000 children, threatening to destroy the party of productivity, which is cause for concern for one of the world's healthiest economies, now facing a prognosis of an aging, reliant population. But back to Jamaica. Why are Jamaicans having less children? Did our reproductive health programs backfire? Are women just more in control of their productive health? Or are we just a part of the wider global trend to have less children? And what are the implications for this? We discuss on Lead Story.
A solid package from our producer, Jonathan Atkins, in concert with the lady Kelly. After the break, pick up the discussion with my 3 guests.
Christmas Eve. Wait, Chris and Charles has great loans and something extra special this season? Yes, we're spreading joy to everyone. Starting November 1st, 2024, get a low interest rate Christmas loan and a special reward just for you. Call 876-926-0609 or visit our website for details. Better hurry, conditions apply. Stocks are limited. Promotion ends December 23rd, 2024. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
JUTC, we're not just buses and schedules, we're people who care about your journey.
At the JUTC, every journey matters. And this holiday season, I'd like to say special thanks to you all for your continued support.
Thank you for riding with us. We are ensuring that our buses are fit and ready to take you safely to your destination.
Thank you for being a part of our community. We will assist you in your commute.
Good morning. Thank you for trusting us to get you to your destination safely every day.
Thank you for riding with us. From our family to yours. Merry Christmas!
JUTC, your route to excellence.
So you know, Christmas time is all about the food, which means it's time for CVM Cook Shop. So throughout the month of December, we'll be getting busy in the kitchen with some of your favorite hosts, hello, chefs and brands who will be whipping up some traditional and not so traditional Christmas dishes in the Cook Shop. You ready for this?
Welcome back to Lead Story here on CVM TV. So we've put together a panel comprising of a medical doctor, Dr. Giselle Harrison-Rowe, an economist, Keenan Faulkner, and someone from the sociological perspective, Shelley-Ann Week. She's executive director, of course, of Her Flow Foundation. Shelley, you're with me here in studio. From your perspective, what's the problem here in Jamaica? where reproductive health is concerned, low fertility rates?
All right, well, I think it's a multiplicity of issues, but personally, I think it's the reproductive health issues that's really causing the numbers to dip as low as they have.
And by that you mean?
By that I mean the quality of the sperm in men and the reproductive health issues that women are having. We don't know what the actual figures are, but just anecdotally, it seems like more Jamaican women have endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, and other reproductive health issues. And even when you look at just the lifestyle, just them being able to maintain their health and be healthy, it is very, very challenging. And on the men's side, the quality of men's sperm has dropped. It is dropping. Male sperms are not what they need to be in order for a live birth to come true, and miscarriages have been linked to low sperm quality. So I think that is really the factor that we really need to address if we intend to do something about the reproductive system in Jamaica.
So from a social perspective, what then, if we stick to the men, what is causing the decline, or well, what about their lifestyle is influencing the plummeting in the quality of the sperm they produce?
Come on, man. We have a lot of very, very bad habits that really don't do well for our well, I should say, your sperm count. I mean, the drinking doesn't help, the smoking doesn't help, the late nights, a lot of us have other health issues, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, those kind of things, and all of those can affect your things, especially if you're taking medication, because some of the side effects of some of the medications that you have to take to deal with those other health issues causes the sperm quality to be low as well.
Keenan Faulkner, you are here to shed light on it from the perspective that will allow people who don't think this thing is a serious issue to understand how grave it is potentially. What are the implications of declining fertility rate in Jamaica, and especially us falling below the replacement rate of 2.1? We're well behind that. What are the implications of that?
Well, I mean, the implications generally are that you have a lower productive base, which also translates into a lower tax base. But there are other wider societal implications like, depopulation can eventually happen. When the population, it is now stable, but it will actually probably start to decline eventually in the future. You have other fiscal considerations and like contributions to social security and other revenues for the state. But apart from those, I agree with Shelley on the social perspective. That's sort of intertwined with the economic considerations, especially looking at, Gen Zs and millennials. If persons don't have a stable, solid economic foundation, and that is basically centered around three things. That is affordable housing, meaningful and gainful employment, and moderating increases in the cost of living. Now, because those three things cannot be assured, or they have not been assured in the Jamaican context, then persons are less willing to sort of, reduce their buffers by having children, because that confers additional responsibilities, which you do need money for.
Yeah.
So from an economic standpoint, persons have philosophically, they have, tapped out from having children, and that can also be an inter-gender relation sort of thing. When women, for example, want more suitable partners, and if you're not finding the sort of men who are educated or they're stable in their jobs or their ability to provide and things like that, then they just won't partner up because it becomes more of a burden than an ease of a burden.
Dr. Giselle Harrison-Rowe has joined us on the program. Dr. Rowe, the point is, Shelley Ann Weeks has pointed to sociological issues. She says, look, based on what she's reading, the quality of the sperm men producing, that is declining. Women have increasingly reproductive health issues. Is the data bearing that anecdotal perspective out, that where the men and the women are concerned, health-wise, issues that are afflicting both genders, causing the problem that we're seeing now with low fertility rate?
Definitely. Thanks for that question. So essentially, where we're seeing the issue is coming from even just our environmental exposure. So let's start there. Let's start looking at the things that we didn't really choose to be exposed to, the toxins, the fact that we're so industrialized, and a lot of us, how many people can say they have fresh air when they go outside? We're all living in the urban life. And so those toxins and microparticles are actually affecting our gametes, our egg and our sperm. So from just exposure that we have no control over. And then, yes, definitely our lifestyle choices are affecting us. I love how the whole topic ties in economically and everything, because as I sat here, I thought people who work more probably have less sex. I say that to say the younger people who are probably partaking in sex a lot earlier than they probably should and are exposed to STIs and things that affect their tubes, those persons are the unemployed. And so it definitely goes right back to the economics of things. And then we do have the underlying illnesses now, like the endometriosis, a lot of which our grandparents never heard these words before.
Yep.
So a lot of diagnoses are definitely on the rise. We have a rise in sexually transmitted infections because of promiscuity, low marriages. We're not getting married. We all having multiple partners. So a lot of women come to you and you're surprised how many people actually come to you at the back end now trying to have a baby after they've already damaged their reproductive potential. So there's a lot of implications, but sometimes I would say there is a choice aspect, and there are some people who don't choose to not have kids.
Yeah.
But there are many things that tie into this low fertility rate.
Hear you on that. Good opening, Salva. Let's take the break and come right back. This is Lead Story, talking about low fertility rates, the reasons for it, the implications, and we must look to the future and ask, well, how the future look? More after these.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
These days, challenges are everywhere and things are constantly changing, but independent living remains the same. Rising above physical challenges, we can help you do it. For years, we have been Jamaica's trusted provider for solutions to improve patient care, safety, and the general quality of life. No matter your age or your physical limitation, we are the caring store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me I go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Welcome to Lead Story here on CVM TV, welcoming you back as we can continue the discussion. So hear me now, Shelley and Weeks. We are where we are.
Yeah.
How well do you think, it is common among people to say that campaigns in Jamaica, government directed, do not work. But we can't say 2 is better than 2 when it did not work. Worked so well. I recall the song from the artist, I think his name was Screwdriver. Sharon, I'm pregnant, you're pregnant. Yes, mama. You remember that?
I remember the whole campaign.
And the Ninja Man song.
Yes.
Oh, yes, for your protection, 2 is better than 2
Too many.
Right.
Yes.
So that campaign worked so well.
It was very effective.
So is it true to say it is contributing now, this cycle downwards from the campaign's launch, still contributing in part to what we're seeing with people not going the route of having many children or having any children?
Yeah, but you have to also realize, George, because culturally there are some things that we do to young people, right? So for all of their teenage lives, we tell them nothing at all about sex. And then we say to girls, don't do it, it's wrong, stay away from it, bad, 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 you don't want to get pregnant, leave it alone, stop, 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 no, never have sex. Then boys get to go out and explore because, they got to sow their wild oats. But at some point, this girl grows up to be a woman who now wants to be a mother. And so she's in a relationship with this boy who sowed his wild oats in his days. And in those days when he must sow wild oats, him drink up some whole things and go a party and all sorts of lifestyle that comes back now as a consequence. And so now she and him come together trying to have a child, and then they realize in that moment that, oh, this is not possible because physically where we are. I think we have to change the way we converse with young people about sexuality and how it affects how their choices now will affect them in the future and what they can do now if they, obviously we're not encouraging them to have children right now, but we want them to think about how the actions that they participate in at this moment when they're 16 can affect them when they're 34 and ready to have children.
Sounds like we need another campaign. Keenan, let me put this to you. Some will say, but Keenan Faulkner, as the economist, what's so wrong if the population gets older? Because people are living longer, healthier, and if you are older and you're working longer, extending your working life, nothing is wrong with that. And we shouldn't worry about pension funds being available because the fact that their working life is extending way beyond what it has for up to this point in world history, it's not a problem. How do you respond to that argument?
Well, having a low birth rate by itself is not problematic at all because it allows us to reap what are called demographic dividends. So that means that when you're focused on having a stable population, then when you grow the economy during that time, then per capita GDP goes up, and then that now has its own advantages. But apart from having demographic dividends by having a stable population, the problem is not that the birth rate is low, but rather it is so low that it's below replacement rate. So if our birth rate was like 2 point something or 3, that is typically low compared to higher birth rates like 5 and 6 children per woman. And then that wouldn't have been an issue. But the issue is that it has fallen below 2, which provides the risk for depopulation in the future. But right now, when it is low, that's when we should be using those demographic dividends to sort of multiply our economic output, because basically, when you have less mouths to feed, you can divert some of those resources elsewhere. That's what they mean when they're talking about demographic dividends.
Yeah.
In order to solve this issue there's no silver bullet.
Yes.
Even welfare-heavy countries like those in Scandinavia, they have run the gamut of basically everything you can think of. Monetary incentives, non-monetary incentives, and it still hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So even though economics is a big part of the issue, it's much more than that.
Yeah.
And having a solution is going to involve a lot more.
Yeah. Dr. Harrison Rosa, here's the thing. What about messaging that we have to, if not tweak, revolutionize, whereby, no information about health and well-being and the implications of bad living, it's available at your fingertips, and yet people still continue to indulge in things that down the line compromise your ability to do something like having a child, which for some people is simple, for some people it's difficult, it will not happen. How do we tweak or change messaging to have the kind of impact on lifestyle and health choices that we want the younger people to have?
We have to start with primary prevention. So the truth is, trying to get somebody to stop smoking marijuana, for example, is almost like walking into a brick wall, right? But what you need to do is approach it from the time when they're in school. So secondary education,
Yep.
I think we need to tackle it. We need to be more direct with the education to say to them the effects, because a lot of people having been exposed and they're functional, they're not going to really listen to you when you tell them the effects of a bad habit.
Yes.
So we have to get it from the primary prevention. That's where primary health care comes in. That's where our teachers come in. So it can't be a thing with the Ministry of Health only.
Yes.
Let's go to the Ministry of Education. Let's look at the school curriculums. Let's see if we can stop the endemics that we have in our population that are affecting the actual fertility rate.
Yeah. Shelley, one of the good things, though, people say that, listen, amid all that you four are speaking of, you're not acknowledging that teenage pregnancy has fallen to levels where it's not a problem anymore in society.
Well, that is a good thing. However, there are some behaviors that teenagers have now that they consider a loophole, pun intended, that it means that they're still engaging in risky behaviors. They just are not getting pregnant from said behaviors. So the intervention in schools is still very much necessary. As a matter of fact, some of my colleagues at Jamaica Age Support for Life would really say to you that based on the activities that some young people are carrying out right now, it is really concerning that they need to be educated and sensitized and given the tools that they need to protect themselves, because that same comment that the doctor made about the fact that they contract a STD, it goes untreated, and now they become adults with the same STD that has developed into PID, which is pelvic inflammatory disease, which can affect their infertility. So the conversation is definitely necessary.
Keenan, last word from you. Should we be concerned that among OECD countries, which of course run the world economy in large measure, that fertility in those countries have fallen precipitously the last 60 years, from 3.3 children per woman 60 years ago to 1.2 now? You're talking about the engine of the world's economy, the precipitous fall off in new labor going forward. Should we be concerned by that any at all?
Well, yeah, that is definitely a concern in the long term. I mean, you're not going to see the effects now, because this phenomenon of lowering birth rates in Jamaica, so it is different now today than it was 20 years ago when we were having, so it's sort of 50,000 live births per woman. Now it is, or in total, or today now you have 30,000. So when you see the drop in the actual numbers, you will realize now, what if that goes down to 10,000 or even fewer, and then it goes into the negatives like some countries. So that's not an issue for today, but it is going to be an issue in the future.
Thank you very much. Well, you know, as we close out the show, I'd like to say that this is where I'd like to see government now working. If you want consultation, the three people I have as my guests today, it's a good place to start. People like them ideating about how you put things in place now to head off a problem in the future. As Keenan Faulkner has been stressing, maybe in the now you don't see the problem, but 10, 15, 20 years down the line, when the cycle advances, that's when the problem comes about. Dr. Giselle Harrison has spoken about the health implications, why we are here, where the health practices, well, health and lifestyle choices among men and women are concerned, and how that is contributing to the problem. We need policies now to deal with that problem at the issue, and she suggested education. So to us, Shelley and Weeks, who has said that we need to go into the schools and almost do a reverse engineering of how people see sex. It's about sex positive. Even though you're not encouraging promiscuity, you're talking about the health benefits of sex and the importance of reproductivity to a country being like what they say a company is when they teach you economics at university. The important thing is for a company to be a going concern. The country also has to be a going concern where you have labor, new labor, able to replenish the workforce as time goes on. It's a very important argument, and it's a very important issue. And I don't want to be here 15, 20 years from now saying, boy, 20 years ago I had this discussion and that never happened. Yeah, we need to move the needle. That's my time here on Lead Story. I want to thank Dr. Harrison Rowe. I want to thank Keenan Faulkner. I want to thank Shelley and Weeks for their contribution. And thank you out there for watching. I make way now for Nika Lewis with the news at 7.
Christmas time in Jamaica, it's all about the food, the family, and the vibes. And nobody does it better than CVM.
And listen, you see my bunga rice and peas? It's so good. Make us start to sing. Make the Christmas get you.
Oh, look at no, bother with it, please. Let's stick to hosting, IT. Let's leave the singing to the voice box kids on CVM. Not you, though.
This Christmas.
Another person?
It was going so well. Until...
How about some toys?
Your daughters are so embarrassed.
All new.
Good answer.
Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Get Sagicor School Companion Health Plan for as little as $2,540 per month. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Mocha arrests 4 in new Sagicor fraud case. Trinidad and Tobago mourns death of minister and her 2 children. St. Mary curfew extended. Also in the news, expert pushes for improvement to Ananda alert system. In the business report, it's small biz, big dreams. And in sports, Christopher Daring appointed CWI CEO. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Them feeding you over there though?
Your favorite. Welcome home, son.
This is home.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me I go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Monday, December 16, 2024. Thanks for having joined us. It's an abbreviated newscast making way for CVM TV's Monday Match Night. Well, not tonight, but we'll have so much more later on for you in sports. So we begin with a developing story regarding another act of fraud at Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited. 4 suspects are now in custody after a major operation led by the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA, targeting what investigators describe as a sophisticated scam that bled funds from the company. With the latest, here's Ramon Gordon.
It was an early morning crackdown. Teams from the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA, with support from the counterterrorism and organized crime branch CTOC, swooped down on multiple locations in Kingston and St. Andrew. Their target, 4 suspects believed to be behind a years-long scheme that defrauded Sagicor Property Services. Investigators say between 2016 and 2019, contractors, working in collusion with the Sagicor employees, submitted forged invoices and payment certificates for work that was never done. The scheme unraveled in 2019 when routine checks flagged documents bearing fake signatures of senior officials. Search and seizure operations were conducted at 4 locations as part of the investigation, which MOCA says is ongoing to determine the full extent of the scheme. Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, in a statement, confirmed that none of the arrests occurred at its locations. The company said it identified the irregularities back in 2019 and immediately reported the matter to law enforcement. Sagicor stated that it has since implemented additional safeguards to protect against further breaches, though there were scant on those details. This incident comes in the wake of another fraud case involving Sagicor. In 2023, a $65 million scheme at the company's Ligoni branch implicated senior staff, including a branch manager and a former vice president. That case, involving unauthorized withdrawals from customer accounts, is set to go to trial in 2025. MOCA says investigations into the current case are ongoing as it works to uncover any further links to the fraud. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Well, in the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, it's been flooded with tears and tributes after a house fire in Arima left a member of parliament and junior education minister, along with 2 of her children, dead. CVM News spoke with the Guardian's lead editor for news gathering, who visited the scene today. It's a tragedy that has ripped through the Twin Island Republic for several reasons. Aside from the fact the victims included a serving minister and politician, 3 people, including 2 children, perished in a blaze with their mother. The incident that claimed the lives of Member of Parliament for Dabadi Omera, Lisa Morris Julian, who also served as a minister in the Ministry of Education, and 2 of her children, 25 and 6, early Monday morning on Farfan Street in Arima. It was their family dwelling that authorities confirmed went up in flames due to an electrical issue. It's further understood the late MP's husband and other children managed to escape. Locals say the mother was attempting to escape when a section of the dwelling collapsed on her. Tributes have been pouring in from several stakeholder groups across Trinidad and Tobago, to include the head of the UWI St. Augustine campus and the Republic's 2 main political leaders. As firefighters attempted a cooling down operation, mourners and locals wept openly, some including close friends in government and relatives. Kejana Haynes is the lead editor at The Guardian, Trinidad.
Okay, so politically, she was a former mayor of Arima, and that's where she lived, so she was the mayor. She ended up becoming the MP when the former MP for the area got himself into some hot water, making some very disparaging remarks about the US, and this was just before the 2020 election, and then she got moved in, but she was actually at the start of a second term as mayor. As a person, very affable, very calm, gentle, like not the kind of person who would raise a voice kind of thing.
Her death has left many in shock, as she is described as a calm individual who proved an efficient liaison in the education ministry.
She wasn't the minister, she was the minister in the Ministry of Education. She wasn't on the forefront as much, but she was always willing to give any help where she could. She's the kind of person who you'd reach out to get on to the minister. And that's why she had a lot of friends. She had a lot of friends on both sides of the aisle, because she didn't really she wasn't as boisterous as some of the others, so she got along with everyone. And I think that's where the shock is. Everybody is definitely in shock. Members of the media, of course, she was a good friend to a lot of us, especially people from that area like myself.
In coming days, the region will learn what happens next for her family and preparations for the funeral of the minister and her 2 children. Back home now, the 48-hour curfew in sections of Enfield and Otter Bay St. Mary has been extended. Police say it will now run from 6 p.m. Monday, December 16 to 6 p.m. Wednesday, December 18. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows. North along Dry River Bridge towards Top Enfield. East along Enfield Main Road extending northwest towards the NWC Pump House at Fort Stewart. South along an imaginary line running south from Top Enfield to May River. Then west along May River to section of Fort Stewart. And during the hours of the curfew, here's a reminder, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. In 2023, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA, reported that 1,027 children went missing. While the agency confirmed that most of these children were safely recovered, one advocate argues that more can be done to improve Jamaica's nationwide missing children system known as the Ananda Alert. Britannia Witter has this story.
The Ananda Alert system, established by the Jamaican government in 2009, remains a critical tool in relocating missing children across the island. The nationwide initiative works with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, and other agencies to issue public alerts whenever a child goes missing. Named after Ananda Dean, an 11-year-old girl who was abducted in 2008 and later killed. The system was created to ensure that every missing child is given the highest priority in response and search efforts. Since its inception, Ananda Alert has helped locate a number of children, but authorities say the system continues to face challenges due to the increasing number of missing child cases. The system works by disseminating information about missing children through various channels, including traditional media, the JCF social media accounts, and in some cases via public broadcast systems. Additionally, once a child is reported missing, an alert is issued to all law enforcement agencies to coordinate a swift response. While the system has been successful in some cases, co-founder and executive director of Children First Agency, Claudette Richardson Pius, believes more can be done to prioritize children.
Children don't vote. So children sometimes are not prioritized. When we look at the national picture, children are not prioritized. And yes, we have CPFSA. Yes, we have other entities, government entities working with children. But in terms of focus, and really looking at what in reality is happening with our children. We really don't have the resources, and it's not a priority. It is occasional and sensational. That's how we tend to deal with children, issues around children. And that for me is really, really sad as a nation.
Pius adds that the current system requires an intervention in order to move forward.
It needs a consultation to really look at. So this is what we have been doing. This is the best practice. Also looking at what is happening and have worked in other countries. To really come up with now a solid, comprehensive plan as to how are we going to deal with missing children in Jamaica.
Britannia Whittle, CVM News.
We take a break, but before that, we leave you with a bit of information. We'll have more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
and a bag of things valued at over $400,000 with Digicel. When you gift your loved ones a 7-day plan for just $1,100 in My Digicel, share one more gift, one more moment, one more smile. Digicel, better connected this Christmas.
JUTC, we're not just buses and schedules, we're people who care about your journey.
At the JUTC, every journey matters. And this holiday season, I'd like to say special thanks to you all for your continued support.
Thank you for riding with us. We are ensuring that our buses are fit and ready to take you safely to your destination.
Thank you for being a part of our community. We will assist you in your commute.
Good morning. Thank you for trusting us to get you to your destination safely every day.
Thank you for riding with us. From our family to yours. Merry Christmas!
JUTC, your route to excellence.
Hi, T.
Yeah.
I'm IT.
This is mine?
I want to do the middle of the road.
Where's the sleigh? Good morning.
You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Tamaiti Christmas in the Streets is brought to you by Flow, unwrapping holiday happiness. That's Christmasing.
Welcome back. So at least one constituency has begun addressing matters brought up by residents at a recent town hall in Pusey Hill, Manchester. Residents left the meeting grateful, though not all their concerns were addressed. Trisha Gay Kelly files this report.
As we gear down to close the curtains on 2024, some communities are already hosting town halls with residents to address their concerns going into the new year. Over in southern Manchester, like any other constituency, one pressing issue is poor road conditions. The residents were greeted with good news at the meeting when they learned that road work will begin shortly before 2025 commences. Councillor for the Grovetown Division, Icival Brown, says this update is just what the residents needed.
The people are very happy here this afternoon because the Spark program in my division, we have Houghton Pond, we have Digley in Manningsfield, and we have Simmitfield. Those roads are going to repair under the Spark program, and I also want to thank the MP for allowing those roads to come up.
Some of the more burning issues, however, include water and garbage collection. That's according to Member of Parliament for Manchester Southern Robert Chin, who says there has been some progress in addressing the residents' concerns.
Water in particular, those are the issues that, well, satisfactory answers were not forthcoming, because those issues really have a high dollar value to them. The issue of connection, supply issue, and just general service issue with the Water Commission, those were dealt with in a frontal way.
Concerns of increasing crime in areas such as Porus were also brought up at the meeting. The MP, however, is hopeful all issues will be addressed in a timely manner. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
This evening, we are unmasking the people behind the politics in your communities in CVM's feature, Behind the Politics. Here now is Courtney Lewis.
Thanks, Nika. We are in North St. Andrew Central for this evening, getting to know the People's National Party candidate, Christopher Henry. He's young and new to elections, but remains undeterred, as he might go up against Delano Seabright, Carl Samuda's successor. The constituency has been a JLP stronghold, so the stakes are high. Henry is hoping he can shake things up, channeling his first-time jitters into doing well as Jamaica nears its election season. We see faces beyond the politics. Get to meet the candidates with me, Courtney Lewis. This is Behind the Politics, showcasing your candidates ahead of the next general election. When he's not swimming, playing water polo, or in the courtroom, he's vying for justice as the People's National Party candidate for North Central St. Andrew. A role Christopher Henry always knew he wanted to play.
Politics was always something that I had vision for and that I wanted to do, and I knew that I wanted to always not just give back to people, but to empower people.
While he did not grow up in the constituency, he formed most of his childhood memories there, frequenting jerk stops and the market. His concerns go as far as garbage collection and roadworks. The political neophyte is hoping to boost infrastructure and youth development through sports and baking clubs should he be elected.
We intend to complete and to carry out a complete and total overhaul of the roads, along with the green spaces, and indeed building up sporting activities. You know, we have the Constant Spring football club, so we intend to increase their visibility. We intend to partner with them for more outreach because the youths need something to do.
The constituency has been held by Jamaica Labour Party's Carl Samuda since 1980, beating O'Neill Lynch in 2020, scoring 5,471 votes to 2,010 votes. But Henry says he has a master plan to secure the seat. He took us to a local barbershop owned by a member of the Whitehall community, focusing his campaign on youth opportunity and entrepreneurship.
We intend to have entrepreneurial, for want of a better word, classes or training sessions with the youths so that they can broaden their horizons. As well as we intend, when we do establish our constituency office, to have a jobs bank, a skills bank there for those who are still interested so that they can be connected to the right fit for their jobs or their line of vocation. They are the backbone of this constituency, the entrepreneurs, the artisans, the vendors, who unfortunately, because of the demolition of the Constant Spring market, don't have anywhere to sell, and that's something that we need to fix.
And although he's president of the PNP Patriots, this makes his maiden run in representational politics.
Confident. Very confident that there is going to be not an upset, but what should have taken place long ago. So I'm not really worried.
Through the church and politics, he plans to transform lives, calling himself the champion of the people.
Hearing their needs, hearing their cries, fixing things. Fix it with Chris is actually the campaign slogan. So we're going to fix North Central with Chris. That's simple. Just servant of the people.
Tune in to Behind the Politics to hear more on your representatives ahead of the next general election. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Thank you, Courtney. And you're standing by to tell me what was the most enjoyable part of the tour for you.
For me, it was meeting the constituents, getting to hear their needs, seeing how they interact with each other. I got to understand that areas like the Whitehall community, they are very tight-knit, they're very close, they support each other in all their entrepreneurial endeavors. And I just thought that was really admirable. For a small community, everyone seems to know each other, everyone is stopping at each shop, everyone is, talking about their lives and their families. Everyone seems to know each other, and I think community, and I think that's what we need. I love that sense of community in getting to meet the constituents.
All right, and they can catch more of you on Behind the Politics every Monday here on CVM News at 7. Do stay with us. We have more in a moment.
It's been 3 years.
Come on, D. I have it. Let's go.
Oh, my baby. Son, oh, my baby. Oh, my goodness. Them feeding you over there, though?
Hypro, farming is in our DNA. So we know the value of all you do. Whether you're an experienced farmer, the farmer just starting out, or the farmer looking to shake things up, we're supportive and understanding of your needs, adapting to whichever path your ambition and innovation leads. And we're experienced enough to guide when needed. We're here to support you at every step, providing high-quality feeds, chicks, farm supplies, and technical support. That's why Hypro is here to make it easier on farmers. Hypro, let's get it done together.
Welcome back. Continuing the news. The National Health Fund, NHF, has donated an ultrasound machine to the University Hospital of the West Indies to aid in the fetal management and diagnostic processes. Adrian Williams tells us more.
With the local birth rate declining from over 40,000 to approximately 30,000, the National Health Fund, NHF, has handed over an ultrasound machine to the Fetal Diagnosis and Therapy Unit at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says this handover has come at an important time.
We apologize for the lack of audio in that insert, but we take a quick break. More after these.
On Monday night, a match made in heaven. We call it Monday Match Night. Catch all the hard-pounding JPL Monday night action from now until the end of the season on CVM TV's Monday Match Night. Matchday Mondays at 7:45 p.m. with rebroadcast Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Nothing else can quite match up. Monday Match Night, powered by Sunshine Snacks and ABC Electrical.
You see, Christmas time in Jamaica, it's all about the food, the family, and the vibes. And nobody does it better than CVM.
And listen, you see my gunga rice and peas, it's so good. Make us start to sing. Make the Christmas get you.
Oh, look at no, bother with it, please. Let's stick to hosting, IT. Let's leave the singing to the voice box kids on CVM. Not you, do.
This Christmas, we are bringing the taste of the season right into your home.
Ooh, now this is how you do a seafood broil. But don't worry, we'll show you how on CVM Cook Shop.
From your favorite Christmas recipes to all the holiday entertainment, stay locked in to CVM Television.
So from our CVM family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So you know, Christmas time is all about the food, which means it's time for CVM Cook Shop. So throughout the month of December, we'll be getting busy in the kitchen with some of your favorite hosts, hello, chefs and brands who will be whipping up some traditional and not so traditional Christmas dishes in the Cook Shop. You ready for this?
Tell me something that makes a bubble bath even more enjoyable.
Candles.
Music. Another person?
It was going so well. Until...
How about some toys?
Your daughters are so embarrassed.
all new...
Good answer.
Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Crunch the holidays, however you want. KFC is finger-licking good. The time by KFC is...
All you want for Christmas is your two-front seat, your two-front seat, your two-front seat. At Jamaica Pegasus, your two-front seat for Christmas comedy cook-off.
Thursday, December 26th at the Grand Ballroom of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Gates open 6 p.m. Showtime 7:30 sharp. Call 876-542-4160 for ticket info. Christmas comedy cook-up, serving up laughter.
At Jamaica Pegasus, your two-front seat for Christmas comedy cook-up.
Where the difference is made. Where titles are decided. Where respect is earned. Excel here and you could go down in history. It's the final third. CVM TV's weekly JPL preview show every Sunday, starting 30 minutes before our live broadcast. Get insight, analysis, and hear from your favorite players weekly, just before we bring you our feature broadcast for the day. Move from defense to attack and join us in the final third. This and every Sunday until the end of the JPL season.
The following tip is brought to you by
Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
Use security cameras to secure your home. Outdoor cameras will discern friend or foe, and it is a visual cue to the burglar that you are monitoring the property. The preceding tip was brought to you by
Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
What would you do if a date asked you how much you weigh?
Ask him how much his mama weigh.
All new Family Feud.
Thanks for staying with us. In a follow-up to last week's business feature, our reporter Adrian Williams zeroed in on the Trenchtown Ceramics and Art Center. This week, we look at what this small business has in store for the future.
Last week, we featured founder and CEO for the Trenchtown Ceramics and Art Center, Garfield Williams, on his journey, craft, and method in making ceramic products. This week, we go a bit further, checking in with a sign and graphic artist who works with Garfield to make the magic happen. So Marvin, we're here with you now. Garfield mentioned your work. We saw some of your work. So talk to us now. What role do you play here, and then overall now, who is Marvin Hibbert?
I'm an artist from the community who have been doing this thing from, I can't remember myself, from primary school days. Feeling of it, the passion that it gives, you know, it kind of give me a feeling where it's like me don't want to stop. All of my best friends were artists like me, but they were better than me at the time.
At the time?
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, I think so, cause I don't think them doing art now.
Hibbert has actually done a number of jobs for renowned companies, including murals you're possibly passing by in the corporate area.
Well, I'm a part of the crew that does on the 3 Mile Bridge. Yeah.
So the ones
on on the columns, yeah. And down by the waterfront, like behind the prison coming out, the Rare Never part, with the green and yellow mostly. I'm a part of the crew who done those work too.
When it comes to us as creatives, and we're out there and we're charging people tend to, a lot of times, not really want to work with our prices. How do you find that scene? People work with your flow, how things in that regard?
Well, sometimes we give a price and the people may say,